Hi everyone. Here I would like to discuss how meditation can induce neuroplasticity and reduce stress. So, what is meditation? Um, for most part, meditation is like focus the attention on breath and observe the sensation that rise in the body and observe thoughts and emotions during meditations. Um, with practice, we can train our mind to stay focused and remain calm. And we can also gain insight into our inner being and through meditation. And it can also help us to better interact with the world that's around us. Um, Meditation has gained popularity over the last decades. Now it's about there's about 200 million downloads of meditation apps worldwide. There are many benefits that comes with meditate that associate with meditation. That is fostering a sense of well-being, reduces the amount of stress, strengthening the immune system, and the body functioning, and is better able to handle strong emotions and navigate difficult situations. And it also promotes better working memories, cognitions, and processing powers. Meditation is also widely adopted in the clinical settings to treat like depressions, general anxiety disorder, stress, pain, and insomnia. What is neuroplasticity then? Well, our brain is not fixed. It's constantly changing, modifying, adapting to our internal landscapes and also to the stimuli from the external world. For example, new scientific discovery that change our understanding, our way of looking at things, and our way of living, and also like building a family, living in a new city, and also like learning to surf, and all of these activities can induce like neuroplasticities. And many studies show that like long-term meditation can increase the gray matters in the associated brain regions, and also like adjusting the neural activity levels in different brain regions while meditating, and also help like neurogenesis in the hippocampus, change the patterns of the brain waves, and also influence the biochemistry, synthesis, and modulations. Um, well, meditation can increase gray matters in hippocampus, insula, temporal parietal junction, posterior cingulate cortex, cerebellum, and different nuclei in the pons. Meditation also can decrease the size of amygdala. Um, the size of amygdala is positively correlated to the level of stress that is perceived. Um, for long-term meditators, they are able to preserve the prefrontal cortex and the insular gray matters, and they can also sustain their crystallized IQ as well as the fluid IQ over time. Meditation can affect the neural activities. It can increase the activity in the insular ventral striatum and decrease the activity in medial prefrontal cortex and the posterior cingulate cortex. Um, the chart on the upper right hand side, the first chart with lots of red spike shows the activities in the posterior cingulate cortex in the novice meditators, and the one at the bottom shows the activity for the a long-term meditator. This reflects their brain activities when they are the novice meditators, their minds wandering more often, and then the experienced meditators mainly focus on their breath. Meditation can also change the patterns of the brain waves. Studies show that like experienced meditators show higher amplitude of theta wave in the right hippocampus. This can indicate that there's more alertness and connectivities and better information processing power in that area. A study done by um, University of Wisconsin on Tibetan monk um, and see the brain waves through EEG, and the study showed that Tibetan monk show higher baseline of gamma wave in their resting state, and then an even higher gamma wave when they're meditating, especially when they're meditating on compassion. That gamma wave jump 700% to 800% increase from the baseline. So this study indicate that the brain wave can be changed through meditation practice over time. Meditation also affect the biochemistries in our bodies. The experienced meditators has like a show by like different studies. Experienced meditators shows like a 27% lower in cortisol level, 200% higher in serotonin, and 30 to 40% lower in epinephrine, and then 10% higher in GABA. So like before jumping into meditation and reducing stress, let's talk about like how chronic stress can cause a lot of health-related issues. Um, Chronic stress put the body into a constantly fight or flight state, and by increasing the cortisol level in our body, and the elevated cortisol level in our body can weaken our immune system, and then induce higher blood pressure and heart diseases, psychological disorders, and it can also like decrease the ability in learning, memory, and emotional regulations. Um, Chronic stress can also decrease the gray matters in major different cerebral cortex. It's mostly due to the death of neuron, and then the dendroid branches and spines are shrink because of the constant excitation from the cortisol. Chronic stress can also like suppress neurogenesis in the hippocampus, and also causes stem cell in the hippocampus to grow into oligodendrocyte. Um, which creating a disproportional amount of like white matter to gray matter, and this alternation in these two different matter can disturb the neural connection between hippocampus and other regions of the brain. The stress also, excessive like a white matter can trigger like overproductions of like microglial cells and pro-inflammatory cytokines, and chronic inflammation can cause like death of neurons, and cause the branches of the dendrites and the spine of the dendrite to become like shrink. Chronic stress can also decrease the GABA activities in hippocampus, which can reduce the hippocampus ability to modulate emotions. The stress can also increase the size of amygdala, especially the basolateral amygdala, section of the amygdala, and so can easily activate the fight or flight response. So how does meditation act on chronic stress? Well, let's first look at the prefrontal cortex. As the prefrontal cortex increase in gray matter, it can better regulate the emotions and impulsive behavior. And then it can also stimulate the thalamus to the reticular nuclei in thalamus to uh, more activities in GABA. Uh, I mean, uh, prefrontal cortex can also stimulate GABA activities in the reticular nucleus in the thalamus, which in turn help the thalamus to better regulate the sensory signals. Looking at the amygdalas, meditation can reduce the size of amygdalas and make the amygdalas less sensitized to the perceptual fear signals. And in terms of like hippocampus, um, meditation increase neurogenesis in hippocampus, and then especially in the subiculum nuclei. It will increase the size of subiculum nuclei is correlated to decreased connectivities between hippocampus and the lateral nucleus in the visual cortex during the retrieval of fearful memories. This actually helps the hippocampus to better distinguish the contextual memories to the phenomenon that that's presenting. Meditation can increase the GABA activity in hippocampus as well, and in return it helps the hippocampus to better regulate the emotions. And also looking at the brainstem raphe nuclei, as like meditation increase the gray matter in the different nuclei in brainstem and cerebellum, and their raphe nuclei can increase synthesis and modulations of serotonin and dopamine, and this can help individual to have a sense of well-being and reduce their level of anxiety. So overall, like as the neural network that associate with emotions and fear processing, as the neural network enhances regulation, and the amygdala is less likely to fire the distress signal to the hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus is less likely to activate the fight or flight response through the sympathetic nervous system and release epinephrine into the visual organs. And the hypothalamus also less likely to release the corticotropin release factors hormone into the pituitary gland, and then in turn the pituitary gland release the corticotropic hormone into the bloodstream, and then trigger the adrenal gland to release like cortisol into the body. So as the body has less like cortisol circulating, and the parasympathetic nervous system can be activated, and then which allows the body to return to the homeostasis status. Our body is a wonderland. So with dedication and practice, and one can actually get in touch with the wonderful experience that the body has to offer. Uh, that's all I have for this presentation. Thank you.